It is a beautiful morning. It's about 9:45, blue sky, and the temperatures have just been so great lately, just perfect. High 70s, breezy, and I've just really enjoyed this weather. So I'd like to show you guys what's growing here. And first over here, I'm using these planters that were given to me by Vago Garden. They gave me a discount code. If you guys are interested in them, you can get 5% off. I'll leave a link down below the video. I like these because they are self-watering. I have a gauge in the back that tells me how much water is in the planter at the bottom. And then if I have too much water, I can just go down here to this little tube and turn it, and it releases the water. And I think I showed you guys how I do that in my last video. So this is my Cherokee purple tomato plant, and then over here is a Dahlia. So I thought I would try growing dahlias in the planters because they require a lot of water and they need support, and this particular one is supposed to get 5 feet tall. So this will be my first time growing them, and it's up. I think in my last video it was not up yet. So there you have it. Okay, and life began in a garden. My favorite little sign there. Got some new flowers to make the deck pretty. A local nursery sells these, and I try to pick one up every year. They're just beautiful. Okay, so let's start over here. I'll just give you guys a quick rundown of what's growing. And of course, many of you might remember when I planted this pink planter full of different basil. So it's all up, and as a matter of fact, I am thinning it into 1 per pocket. So the extras that I have that have come up in each pocket, I'm moving them into some of the other planters. Okay, they transplant very easily that way. They're very small and they do great. Okay, so over here, my tomatoes are just taking off. I have cucumbers planted in here. This is the little tomato plant that was sent to me by Vago Garden, and I put it over here in this pocket. I think it's called a red velvet. Little tiny tomato plant, and looks like that will be my first tomato this year. So cute little plant there. I have some fruit setting on my other plants. I think this one is also Cherokee purple. Okay, I'm experimenting this year with growing pole beans in a vertical garden. I know pole beans need a lot of height and they need a lot of room, but I thought I'd just give it a try. I like to try something new every year. And so right here I can see that they are growing up, and they've been grabbing onto some of the tomato plants. But I put 3 plant supports on here because I will try to give them a little bit of support. I might just manually move them over. We'll just see how it goes. We'll see how it grows. This here is the basket weave texture in stone color, and this is the crisp lettuce, and it usually goes all the way through June for me, so it's doing great, as well as the frisee at the bottom. The cilantro has bolted, so I'll remove that 1 tier, and I'll probably put something over here that's also in stone color, another leaf tier. I'm trying to start planting 1 tier in all of the same plants. So if something like this is happening, I can remove that tier and maybe put something else over here that will grow with it. Because I'll hate to have something that I can't use growing and just having empty tiers. Okay, so I'll probably remove that tier of cilantro, and I'll plant something else over here. Okay, and this is an example of where I have the red romaine that's now bolting. I've cut the center I say it's been about a week ago now, and it was perfect. It's beautiful, but at this point, if I start snipping away at it, it'll probably be bitter, okay, because it has started to show signs of bolting. But the frisee down there is fine, and so I will keep that tier. As a matter of fact, I might move the tier of the frisee, for example, over here. I'll remove the tier of cilantro, and I'll put the frisee over here with the rest of the lettuce. So that's kind of how I'm planning on moving things, making it more of a modular type of growing system, I guess. And at the top I have shallots, and I think I have some onions and scallions there on top, and they don't seem to be affected by the aphids that I had such a problem with earlier in the month. Alright, over here to the left, the leaf container, these are bush beans, most of them, but I also have things like nasturtiums growing here. Okay, and I think I've also moved in maybe some basil over here. Yes, I did one of the basil thinnings from the other vertical garden. And so what I'm doing here with the leaf is I'm growing 2 bush beans per pocket. I'll put maybe 3 to 4 seeds to ensure germination, and then I'll thin it out to 2 per pocket. On the original, I'll do 3 per pocket. Okay. More tomato plants over here. They're all doing great. I'm growing for the first time this year what's called a brandywine dwarf. Now, I think this one's the Polish dwarf, but I do have something called a brandywine dwarf that I'm growing, and so I'm anxious to see how that will work out. It's supposed to be a dwarf plant, but produce medium-sized tomatoes. So we'll take a look and see how that does. Now, this one is where I had my spinach, and so I just planted this yesterday. I pulled out the bolting spinach, and I put in, I want to say, cucumbers, slicing cucumbers, and bush beans. Okay, lemongrass, and then I have some sweet potato slips here. I've planted a lot of sweet potatoes down in my lower garden, and at our river garden I put some sweet potatoes out there as well. But as you can see here, well, I can't pull it out right now, but these have a lot of roots on them, and I can easily just pull off the plant and I can stick it right into the ground if I need to. As long as I keep it watered and it's not too hot, maybe on a cloudy day or two, I can easily transplant those. But I showed y'all how I do that in another video this year. And then this had all of my bolting arugula in it. Okay, so I moved out again some of the thinning basil, basil thinnings there, along with nasturtiums. And then there's 2 bush beans per pocket. There's a lot of bush beans here. These are the yellow bush beans. And then, of course, my potatoes right there. I'll be harvesting those before long. I like to get them when they are nice and young and the thin skin. And I do believe I planted this first this year. I think this was the first thing I planted were potatoes. The little garden down there is a work in progress, as it always is, but I'm slowly moving out mulch, and this year I'm growing pole beans down there. So I have a lot more potatoes down there. Okay, and then the last thing are the onions that have been really, really hurt by the aphids. You can see how the leaves are just all curling. There are a few things in here I'm still using them, harvesting scallions out of here and that kind of thing, but the aphids are gone, but the plants are still in a recovery mode. So anyway, there you have it. If you have any questions about anything that I've shown you, please feel free to leave a question in the comment section below the video, and I will be more than happy to help you. Thanks so much for watching, and y'all have a beautiful day.